Some breaking news here on KCAL 9 News at 8. The potential end of a police pursuit. I'm joined by Chris Holmstrom. I'm Sarah Donchie. Chris, as you can see, San Marino police there stopped the suspect in front of what I believe is Beverly Hospital.
Yeah, so we're learning it's Beverly Hospital, but still not a lot of information right now. We're trying to get more information from our assignment desk. We do know that San Marino police was the lead agency that started this. Now the LA County Sheriff's Department is taking over this agency. But as you can see right now, they are at Beverly Hospital. And Sarah, we assume that this is the end of a pursuit. Why this person was wanted, or if there's any other people inside the car at this point, that is still unknown.
Yeah, and I just want to let our viewers know we have been actually following this pursuit since a few minutes before we got on the air. It has only been a couple minutes that this suspect has stopped at what looks to be a dead end, considering the fact that there are multiple units behind him or her and a unit there blocking their egress. So this person really has only been sitting here for a couple of minutes, and in that time, Chris, I haven't noticed anybody trying to get out of the car. But obviously, given the COVID-19 pandemic, emergency rooms have been incredibly busy during this really difficult time. It's been challenging for our frontline healthcare workers, certainly. And now this scene is playing out in front of Beverly Hospital in Montebello. The end of a pursuit, hopefully, but no signs yet that this person is planning to surrender.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder if there may be someone inside that SUV who is potentially injured, and that's why they decided to go to the emergency room. But Sarah, oftentimes when we see pursuits like this, we usually see the black and whites behind the vehicle, not usually in front of the vehicle in case they were to, maybe shoot at the person in front of them or, continue to drive in front of them. But as you mentioned, when they pull back a little bit, you could see that there is another police vehicle blocking that driver from getting out of this entrance. But I mean, the big question that we all want to know is, why was this person wanted in the first place, and are there other people inside? Right.
Really interesting that this actually started in San Marino. If you're familiar with that community, it is very quiet, sort of a bedroom community there. That is just south of Pasadena. Pasadena is the largest city near San Marino, and San Marino not near any freeways. The 210 is to its north, the 10 freeway to its south. So not necessarily somewhere that a lot of people are passing through if they're getting somewhere on one of our major freeways. But interestingly, this pursuit started in the city of San Marino, and the police department followed this person all the way. Chris, as you know, sometimes we see interagency cooperation. We see CHP pick up a pursuit, or LAPD, depending on if they're passing through that jurisdiction. But San Marino police saw this to the end in front of this emergency room in Beverly Hospital in Montebello, well south of where this started. And Chris, it's really interesting because we have to hope that everybody's out of harm's way in this situation at this emergency room entrance.
Yeah, and San Marino Police Department is a very small department, which is why they are getting help from the LA County Sheriff's Department. I'm trying to look at the vehicle directly behind that SUV. Sarah, could you tell if there were deputies outside of their vehicle?
It looked like for a moment that they did step out, and it looked like maybe even with guns drawn, but look at all the potential issues that you have here. So it looks like, I don't know if they actually are using this entrance as an ambulance point of entry here. You do see an ambulance off to the left of your screen, but I haven't seen anybody in it. But hospitals have been sort of changing the way that they're set up, as you know, Chris, where they have overflow tents in different areas. They're using one entrance and one exit to limit contact in terms of COVID-19. They don't want a bunch of people congregating in different areas. So it'll be interesting to see how the setup here at Beverly Hospital is different, but you could see those barricades, and I don't see a lot of people walking around there, which is certainly a good thing.
Yeah, no, not at all. And I wonder if this hospital, Beverly Hospital in Montebello, is put on lockdown. I mean, we don't know if this person is armed. We don't know if they're having any kind of mental health issues or if they're impaired by drugs or alcohol or what have you. So it makes you wonder if the people inside this hospital are on a lockdown, because you just never know what could happen in a situation like this. And I mean, it's kind of bizarre that this driver ended up going to the hospital.
Well, I don't know. It'll be interesting to hear whether or not we hear it tonight. I don't know. But it'll be interesting to see whether or not they knew where they were going. Just before we got on the air, the driver sort of barreled through an adjacent parking lot, which I now believe was a parking lot for the hospital, and ended up in it's not a dead end, but it is for this person because there's really nowhere for them to go. Chris, you see a deputy there out front, and then the police officers there behind him. Or her, I should say, we really don't know who's in the car. There's nowhere for them to go at this point. And Chris, you bring up a really great point. I hope that law enforcement has communicated with the people inside that hospital that there is this potentially dangerous situation unfolding outside. Yeah,
definitely. And just by counting it, it appears there's potentially 6 police vehicles out there. And as you mentioned, you know, they were outside of the vehicle for a little bit at gunpoint, but that driver, for whatever reason, has decided to stay inside their vehicle. Whether or not there's more people inside, that's still unknown. But, you know, the big question is, why did this person go here? Was it just by chance that they ended up at the hospital, or is somebody in that vehicle having a medical emergency? Right now, you know, officers and deputies are probably doing their best to communicate with that driver. Sometimes they do it by cell phone, sometimes they do it by intercom, but obviously from Sky 9, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, really difficult to tell what's going on. And I would assume, Chris, you're right, that they probably are communicating with this driver in some capacity. And what we haven't seen, because we've had this tight shot, is whether or not the LA Sheriff's Department has their helicopter up overhead. That usually happens with a pursuit. Looks like our helicopter camera operator is zooming out a bit so that we can get a better sense of that. And I do see a spotlight. Chris, are you seeing that as well?
I do. Is that a big hospital? I'm not familiar with that hospital. Are you?
Well, it's you know, I don't know too much about Beverly Hospital, but I know that it services an area where I don't think that there are other hospitals in that immediate area. I know there's some urgent cares around there. Of course, if you keep going east, there's USC Medical Center, and they serve a ton of patients, a very busy hospital. But, you know, during the COVID pandemic, Chris, even community hospitals have seen an influx of patients that they have to care for.
Oh, yeah, you're completely right. And, you know, that was one of the things that I noticed was the tents right outside the emergency room. And, you know, sometimes you forget that you're in a pandemic, but, you know, we're still in the height of it. And obviously they have those for backup because, you know, there's still a lot of people going to the hospital in ICU as well. And in situations like this, you know, medical staff, they're trained, they have security, sometimes law enforcement officers that are working inside that hospital just to make sure the patients are safe. And in a situation like this, I mean, we've seen so many pursuits, Sarah, and we just know they could lead to anywhere,
dangerous situations. So, excuse me. So it doesn't look like these are overflow tents necessarily, but you know, Chris, a lot of hospitals and so many other businesses have moved some of their operations outdoors because it's safer. There's less transmission of COVID-19 outdoors, as we know. So, you know, sometimes the check-in process for doctors' offices is now outside. You see that at community clinics sometimes. You drive by, people are filling out paperwork outside as opposed to congregating indoors to prevent the spread of COVID-19. You know, so that's why it's a difficult situation, and we're glad that we don't see a bunch of people out here right now who could be caught in the middle of this. But yeah, I mean, it's conceivable that there are people walking around the hospital who need to get out of harm's way.
Yeah, just watching this, it'll be interesting to see how long this lasts for. And what I really want to know, Sarah, is, you know, why was this driver wanted in the first place? You know, as we mentioned, San Marino Police was the lead agency that started it. It's a smaller department. The LA County Sheriff's Department, the East LA division, ended up taking over, and it appears they're working together to try to get this person to surrender. And let's see if we could. It's such a hard to see because it's dark in that parking lot, and that vehicle is a dark vehicle and probably tinted windows as well. But I don't know if we could zoom in any more. That's probably the closest, because obviously we have to stay back a little bit. Can you see, Sarah?
Yeah, we just want to make sure that everybody's safe and that we're not showing anything that we don't want to show here on the air. So just to recap for our viewers here on KCAL 9 News at 8 o'clock, this is the end, we hope the end, of a police pursuit that started in the city of San Marino, which is just south of Pasadena, and has now come to a stop here in front of Beverly Hospital in the city of Montebello. Obviously a developing situation. This may not be the end of this after all, so this is a breaking news story that we will continue to check in on as we see the LASD airship there just off the corner of our screen. Again, Chris, we're going to check in on this breaking news story as it develops here this evening.
All right, well, good Saturday evening, everyone. I hope you all are enjoying your time at home. I'm Chris Holmstrom.
Hello, I'm Sarah Donchie.